Welcome to Our 80s Life. I'm Keith.
And I'm Abby.
Today I'm really excited. We are in my hometown of Nacogdoches. This is where I grew up in the 80s.
And this is also where we went to college and where we met.
As a kid, learning to say and spell Nacogdoches was really hard. So this one gentleman created a song which made it easy for all of us.
Are you gonna sing it for us?
Well, of course I am.
Nacogdoches,
yes, yes, yes. Nacogdoches.
Nailed it.
Behind me is the house that I lived in from age 5 through being married to Abby. So a lot of memories of this house. It's changed a bit. The garage has been closed in, so they added some additional space, but lots of memory in this little 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. All right, so this neighborhood had a circle drive through it, and this is where I got my very first motorcycle. And I used to ride my motorcycle in this loop for hours. I'm sure the neighbors were just going crazy by this.
Was it loud?
It wasn't loud, but it's just I kept going by. I mean, I literally did circles all day long.
Aw.
But that's the only place I could ride.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys can really tell, but this is kind of the country. This is a small neighborhood, not with very many houses, lots of land, and Keith had kind of woods behind there.
Oh, we used to go out in those woods and we would just explore for hours. So here's what we do. Today, you gotta know where your kids are at all times. Now, when I was a kid, we would leave at 8 o'clock in the morning and we wouldn't be back till dark. We'd come back filthy. But our parents had no clue who we were. They didn't care.
It was the 80s.
We didn't worry about those kind of things. So, it was great to be a kid in that time.
I've been driving all night long to the place where I belong, back to where I started from, the only place that I call home. 17 around the bend, drinking with my old best friend, listening to the radio. I thought we'd stay until the end.
So when I went to school here, this is where 1st and 2nd grade were. So I had Mrs. Thompson and Miss Alexander for 1st and 2nd grade. Then over here, where the sign is for Blue Ribbon School, that's where we had music class. And I was never the best singer, but I tried my best. And then over in the bigger section of the school, this was 3rd through 5th grade. So for 3rd grade, I had Mrs. Curl. For 4th grade, I had Mrs. Brightwell. And for 5th grade, Mrs. Gresham. Good times. This was our cafetorium. This is where we would have lunch, and we'd also have all our assemblies. On that stage there, I actually have a picture of me. I was in a play and I was Thomas Edison.
So not only did Keith go to elementary school here, but in college, I studied elementary education and I did an internship here at Nettie Marshall as well. And some of his teachers were still here, and they were more than happy to share stories about Keith.
I was a bad kid.
Well, I mean, you were probably pretty ornery.
I was ornery. I spent a lot of time in the principal's office, and I would have to admit it was well-deserved. But hey, I got whipped into shape, and I turned out okay.
You know what Mrs. Curl said, right?
I don't remember.
When she met me, she showed me around her classroom, and she's like, see that part over there? And there was a corner that had a sign that said no man's land, and it was like the bad corner or whatever, the timeout corner. She goes, yeah, Keith spent a lot of time over there.
That was the truth.
And I came back and saw him and was like, hey, I heard some stories about you. It was so funny. You're lucky I still married you after that.
Right, good times. It was survival of the fittest back then.
I like the bad boys.
That's right.
Are you going to tell an embarrassing story about yourself?
I'm not gonna tell an embarrassing story, but one phobia I had when I was a kid. So,
It is kind of embarrassing though.
when I was a kid, I wouldn't go to the restroom in public places like number 2.
He wouldn't poop.
And our school did not have doors on the toilets.
On the stalls.
On the stalls.
I mean, that is really uncool.
So it was even worse. I already had this phobia already, and then
Probably just the boys' room, right? Do you think the
no,
girls' room
I think it
didn't
was
have?
boys and girls. It was like no privacy. Well, anyway, one day I had to go, and so I broke down and went in there. And of course, people come in. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing in there? Hey, he's going poop."
He's going poop.
Like everyone poops.
That's so embarrassing, though.
I know.
Poor kid, you had trauma from
I
that.
had trauma from that. I still haven't gotten over those scars.
He didn't poop at college either.
I'd go home.
Drive home.
All right, one thing I loved about school was I got to be in the safety patrol. And I don't know if you guys had safety patrol, but that's pretty much, you would help the kids. It was like crossing guards. When the kids were being dropped off and they had to cross the road, we'd have our little signs and we'd jump out there. Right behind me is where I spent most of my time as a crossing guard for safety patrol. Anyway, it was cool. We had our little badge and we had the little things that we would wear. They were bright orange to ensure that we were highly visible. But it was a good time. The other thing I really enjoyed was flag duty. So from time to time, you would be the person who would put the flag up in the morning and take the flag down, and I always enjoyed that responsibility. And they did that right there. As a kid, I spent a lot of time at the Skaterama here in Nacogdoches. I had a lot of birthday parties here. Really good times. This is TJR, or Thomas J. Rusk. Now it's an elementary school, but back in the day when I went here, it was a middle school. So I went here 6th through 8th grade. Great place to be in the mornings. We would hang out front here and play hacky sack. How many of you played hacky sack? I don't think I could do it anymore.
That's so 80s. You played hacky sack?
Hacky sack, it was awesome.
I bet you were good at it. You probably kicked my butt at hacky sack because I could never figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I would do a little behind the foot action.
Yeah, a little extra.
Little
Oh, it's too bad we don't have one. You can show us right now.
I have no skills anymore.
Oh, maybe you'll get it back one day.
I left those skills in the 80s.
Okay.
I keep looking back. You know I have not forgotten all those promises we made. If I come around, I would never leave you broken. I wouldn't let you down again. Wouldn't let you fall.
Welcome to Stephen F. Austin. This is our alma mater.
Axum Jacks.
I graduated in 1996. And
95.
Keith is class of 95. That's also the year we got married.
Behind us you see Serpent Steve.
There he is. We call him Surfing Steve because he looks like he's surfing. And when we went to school here, the big thing was students would put soap in the fountain and make it overflow, make it get all foamy. Apparently now they color it purple sometimes.
Sounds like something to do later.
Yes, let's go get some Tide.
Yes, that's right.
All right, Keith, did you find it?
Found it. 1 second.
Good job.
There we are.
Here we are. Oops, I got a shadow. Ethan Abby Miller.
This computer lab holds a special place in our heart because something monumental happened here.
This is where we first ever used the internet, guys. And also the first time that we ever sent emails was in this library computer lab right behind us. So how cool is that?
Way back in the Stone Ages.
And now they have a sign here that says you can use your mobile app on your phone. And that would have been completely foreign to us. Like, what's an app?
Well, what's a mobile phone?
What's a mobile phone? Like, that wasn't even a thing. It's amazing. But you know what? The computer lab looks exactly the same. The technology is different, but the building looks the same.
Back in the day, one of the date nights we would do would be at Timber Lane's Bowling Alley, and Abby and I would go bowling.
So we decided to come here today to get out of the heat because it's awfully hot. And besides the name, which has changed to Texas Pro Bowl, this place looks exactly the same.
It's time warped.
It is, but I like that about it. It's old school bowling at its finest. So yeah, we have some fun memories from this place, for sure.
Yeah, we used to come on Friday nights and it was like DJ night. And, and they'd have this DJ, but they also had these random red pins, and if the red pin ended up on the front of the, I don't know, what do you call that?
In the number one
The number
slot.
one position, there you go. So she knows how.
If you got a red pin, then you got to spin this wheel of fortune thingy, and if you got a strike or something, then you could win a prize.
Yeah, but the DJ guy would like, hey!
He would announce it.
Put your attention on lane 7.
Right.
Let's see if that girl down there can roll a strike. Well,
it was bad. It was so embarrassing.
The problem was, if you didn't bowl very well, he also made fun of you.
So this happened to me. I got the number one pin. I didn't want it because all the attention goes on you. This place was full of people, and the DJ's like, everybody watch lane number 7 or whatever. And so everyone's watching me. It's a lot of pressure. I'm a terrible bowler. I totally choked, and the ball was going really slow, and he's like, well, you know, we might be here a while, folks. And it was so embarrassing. It's one of my most embarrassing moments, but you know, he still married me.
It was a funny moment, though.
You thought it was hilarious.
I wish we were vlogging back then.
Oh yeah, too bad we don't have that on camera. Zoe, how does it feel to be bowling in the actual bowling alley that your parents bowled in when they were dating?
I'm living the dream right now, truly.
And how does it feel to be wearing the actual shoes that we probably wore back then
Now that
in the
feels
90s?
a little gross, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think this place has changed at all.
I don't think it looks like it has. I mean, look at the screens.
Look at the screens. Oh, I missed his. There's the screen.
Why is Piney I got her both the first time.
So I want to wear these shoes to church.
You can wear them to church? Are they
why?
original to the 90s? Why?
You know why? Because they're holy.
Oh, good one. Uh-oh. Yep, I think these are the footwear that we were wearing back in the 90s.
Definitely were.
6 again.
Oh, You still got it?